What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I am Alex. In this video, I want to talk about if the new Batman Arkham game should have been or should be a Batman Beyond game instead. Now, I know that's a long title. I don't even know what the title is that you guys are seeing, but generally, here's what we're going to talk about. Since we started making these videos, and we started making them pretty consistently, like in August, right from the very beginning, we saw a lot of people, or I've seen a lot of people in the comments say, I wish that the game wouldn't limit itself with Arkham, that it would kind of take itself out of that and be something different. Why wouldn't they go like a Batman Beyond route, stuff like that? And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. And I've always kind of agreed with them. I've always said, well, you know what? That's not a bad idea. And when you're thinking of what you would probably want to do with this franchise and with Batman himself, or just the Batman name, it probably is wise to not just ground yourself in one, like limit yourself basically in one property, and that's the Arkham property. Now, I'll be flat out honest with you. I don't know much about Batman Beyond. I haven't read the comics. I know there was like the animated show for it back in like the very, very late 90s, early 2000s. So I know that it exists. I know I guess it's just futuristic, which I feel like that canceled Damian Wayne game, the Arkham Knight sequel, was maybe going to lean forward to, but, very like gothic, very, kind of like that cyberpunky kind of feel to it, but futuristic, and not even where you play as Bruce Wayne Batman all that much. But again, you could have so many different kinds of villains, both old and new. I like the idea. I read up on Wikipedia a little bit on it, so I'm not well versed, but I read up on Wikipedia a little bit about Batman Beyond before I recorded this, and even before that, the general idea is I don't even need to know all that much about Batman Beyond. Okay, I really don't. The point is I do agree with those people, and I think, and even just like what I'm capable of talking about, and what I think I'm pretty good at talking about, I think that we can still talk about it even if I don't know all that much. The general idea that they would want to expand Batman is just something that they should do. And that's pretty much it. They need, the Arkham. The only reason they're doing Arkham, let's cut right to the chase. The only reason it's an Arkham game, and here's the deal, it is an Arkham game. I agree with people. I would like to see eventually them get away from the Arkham tagline. But I do 1000% believe this new game is good. And I know we saw like people that James Sigfield on Twitter or other leakers on Twitter and on the internet in general say like, oh, people on the inside said it's definitely like considered and it's called an Arkham game. I mean, that's not surprising. I could have told you that last year. In fact, I did tell you last year when I made a video like last July. It's definitely an Arkham game. I've always thought and I've always known that it's going to be an Arkham game. And here's the reason why is they need to stick, or they feel they need to stick with that title, with the Arkham name. We want them to get away from it, but the Arkham tagline, the Arkham franchise, that word has power. And think about what Warner Bros. Montreal is already facing against. And I think we talked about this because I'm recording a lot of these videos back to back. I believe on Sunday's video, just 2 days ago, we talked about like things they need to learn from Origins. And one of the things I talked about was they need to get over, or not even get over, they need to get past and like get through the fact that they may still be looked at as kind of like that stepchild, like the one that like, you don't want to care about as much for some reason. Like something about Origins just feels off compared to the regular Arkham trilogy, right? Something like that. And we talked about that. And I guess you could look at it both ways, because if you took the Arkham name out of it, then you're playing by yourself. It's just you. If they made a Batman Beyond game, yeah, we could compare it to the Arkham games, but like we couldn't say like, oh, this is like the lesser quality this is the lesser quality Arkham game. They could very well still fall into that if they do this new Arkham game, and then we can look at it and say, well, it still just feels like it's not part of this high quality Rocksteady trilogy. Like it still just feels like something's off about it, just like Origins did. And I feel like that is going to 1000% again be a discussion we have. At the same time, the property is valuable. The name Arkham is super, super valuable, and it's going to sell. Now, you could say, well, Alex, I don't think a Batman game needs all that much help selling. That's true. Spider-Man could have been called The Amazing Spider-Man, could have been called Spider-Man, it could have been called whatever version of Spider-Man you want or whatever tagline of Spider-Man you want. I think it still would have sold the same amount of copies it did because, the quality is still the quality, right? So I would agree with you. I would say, Batman Beyond, Batman, whatever it's called, doesn't need, it has the Batman name in it. So it's obviously a Batman game, and people are going to be excited about it, and it's going to sell rather well, no matter what the heck it's called. But I just feel like from a business perspective, from what Warner Bros. Wants and from what Warner Bros. Montreal is thinking, I think they have a lot of stock in that name. I think the name Arkham is very, very powerful, and especially in the gaming world, I mean, you do look at those things, and for you and me, the thousands of you, and just me, recording these, we're the diehards. We'll get it no matter what. We're all complaining about the game not getting announced, but we all know we're gonna be there day one, right? So it's not really for us. But think about it: if it sells 10, 15 million copies, there's a lot of casual people. There's a lot of people that are just going to walk into their store and just see it and say, oh, a Batman game, like I'm going to buy it. But there's a lot of casual people, and there's a lot of people out there in the world that don't know all that much stuff about the game coming out. And that's just for any game. Even The Last of Us Part 2, let's say, for as big of a game as that is, not everybody knows all that much stuff about it. I guarantee you people are going to play it. Some people, you're not going to hear about them, but some people of the 20 million people are going to play and say, oh, we're not playing as Joel, we're playing as Ellie, because they don't know. They didn't see all these gameplay things. They're not into it like other people are, and they're not right and they're not wrong. Like there's no it's just who they are as people, and there's no reason to judge them because everybody's different, right? So what I'm basically saying is in the gaming industry, though, the names have a lot of stock. So having the Arkham game, when you see that, people you can recognize it. You recognize and say, oh, I remember that last game where that there was that Knight guy. Oh, Arkham Knight. Oh, I remember there was that game where Joker was sick, or that open world, or like a side, like things like that. People connect it to those past games, and that can help. That can 1,000% help people get the game or buy the game. And so I think the name Arkham does hold a lot of value to especially the casual people, and the businesses or the corporations like Warner Bros. They recognize that. Now, does that mean they're not giving like creative freedom to say, hey, maybe one day, or hey, you can make like a different game? No, I don't think it's stopping them. To be honest, I think they were looking actively of getting away from the Arkham games in general, and from we know that there was a canceled Suicide Squad game from Warner Bros. Montreal. Now there could be a Suicide Squad game being made at Rocksteady right now, but we know there was a Wonder Woman game canceled. I mean, Warner Bros. And we know there was the Arkham Knight sequel, the Damian Wayne game, canceled. So that is basically Batman Beyond, right? That's kind of their take, or they were kind of leaning into that just a little bit. So like they were I believe, over the past 6 years. I mean, not really, more like 4. They were probably actively looking to get away. First, they were looking to get away from Batman. I think after Origins, Warner Bros. Montreal was like, you know what? If we have a say in this, we really don't want to do... And they could say that I'm wrong. They could say, that, oh, we always wanted to make another Arkham game. I mean, I would half believe that, but I truly do believe that they wanted to do their own thing. And why wouldn't you? Why would you want to just be in the shadows of a different developer in Rocksteady? Why would you want to do that as a career, right? Would you really want that? Don't you want to be known for something like completely your own? And I think that's the case there. So I think firstly, they were trying to get away and saying, hey, we could do Wonder Woman, we can maybe do the suit. Like, these are different characters. We could do all these things. Then those didn't work. And then I feel like there was probably pressure and was like, well, we made the Arkham game, we made Origins, so I guess we could go back to what we know kind of worked. It didn't work like insanely well. Again, it's always been looked at as the side thing, but we know that we can probably make a really solid game just like we did with Origins, but we could probably make a better one. I guess we'll just go back to making that. And I think, again, that was the case, even if that was after this canceled Damian Wayne game, which, again, I don't believe the leakers, I don't believe the people on the internet that say that was just canceled, that they're really just starting a game like right now. 1,000, I definitely don't believe that. I think that game was canceled years ago, or parts of it were canceled. I think the game they're making, as I've said in past videos, I think they've been making it for several years now. So I'm not worried about the canceled game affecting this game. I really don't think that means anything. But, I do think that, personally that a Batman Beyond game would be cool. I think ultimately that would probably have been their first idea, to do something different than the Arkham Batman. Or firstly, it was get away from Batman. Then it probably was, let's get away from Arkham. We could still do Batman, but let's get away from Arkham. And then it's kind of settled on, well, let's just do Arkham again. And I think, honestly, that is the line that they've gone through. Again, is that the right or wrong thing? I mean, hey, Arkham really, like, you can change what the whole Arkham word on the box means. You know what I mean? Like, it does, like, we thought Arkham Asylum because literally Arkham Asylum is the name of the jail. So that's what we associate with. But then, like, Arkham City, I mean, like, okay, in Arkham City and Arkham Knight, you're in Gotham, like, you're playing a full scale thing. Why is it even called Arkham anymore? You could ask that question. Does it even need to have been called Arkham? You know, whatever they could have replaced with the word Arkham for City and Arkham for Knight, like, you know what I mean? Even Arkham Origins, like, did it have to be called that? So Arkham, I don't think they have to be. The titles. Basically, is what I'm saying. The titles don't have to super hold them back. I get the like for the Batman Beyond. I think that would be something that maybe we get. I mean, maybe we get that in the future. We know they're making 2 games there. So maybe the second game is that. Maybe 10 years down the line, we get something like that. Ultimately, my response to you guys is I like the answer to the question, like, should they have done it? I think they were trying to do something like it. Should they? Like, should this game right now be a Batman Beyond? I'm not head over heels on it like a lot of you guys are or some of you guys are. Truly, I'm not. I just want a Batman game. I want to be able to play it. So I don't really. If it's Batman Beyond, it's Batman Beyond. If it's an Arkham game, it's an Arkham game. It is an Arkham game, but I would take either. I honestly don't have a preference. Maybe it's just because. But here's the deal. That could make a lot of people mad, and I get that. I understand that maybe if I was into more of that kind of line, like if I read the comics, if I watched it, like if I liked that kind of arc that the Batman Beyond thing went through, maybe I would be more passionate about it. So I totally get your guys' enthusiasm. It's just, my opinion. So thank you guys, as always, for watching. This is Tuesday's video. We've had 2 videos before, yesterday and the day before on Sunday. And we're also going to be having one on Friday. So I do want to thank you all for watching. I want to thank you all for liking, subscribing, sharing. And even for the people that we've had disagreements for in the past, even like a Superman Nick, who I did want to give a shout out to because we've kind of mended our relationship in the comments. I do want to thank you all for watching. I get there's sometimes, not a lot, very, very, very little negativity out there in the comments. I think a lot of it just stems from frustration of the new game. I'm truly loving making these videos. I'm loving talking to you guys about all these different topics. You guys have been the absolute best. You guys are growing the channel way faster than I thought it would grow over the past couple months, and I owe it a lot to you guys. So I do want to thank you all again. Like I said, I think Friday's video is going to be talking more about speculation for the game. So again, if you're not into those kind of videos about like the delay, when will we get it, stuff like that, just don't watch Friday's video. Or if you do, just watch it and that's it. Just watch it. You don't have to do anything else. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see you all on the next video.